Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, we'll have a first look at these new Immortals and see what we think of them. See if we can pick out a contender of the best one and things like that. Here they all are. Pretty cool looking cards. I do like the look of these. The thing I like about them as well is the fact that we see them here on their most basic level. Like Immortal Aquaria, here in the top left, has 20 attack, 22 armor, and 28 life. But if we click into the card, we can see those significant stat increases when it gets to level 30. You can also see that it's just 26 mana cost as well at level 30 compared to 30, which is normal. So you get those nice mana cost reductions as they get more powerful at the same time. You can also see the spell in all its glory as well as the traits, which is really nice. So let's take a look at these one at a time. One other thing you can do as well, you can look at the upgrade path as well on each one by clicking the L1 button there, and you can take a little look at those. You can also see the Immortal Soul progression, and you can see all the way down there, all the way to level 30, and see what you get for each stage. Very cool this, looking forward to this. Right, so let's pop back to there. One other thing you can do as well, or a couple of other things, you can just take a look at when the PvP season starts. Season begins in, for me, 4 days and 21 hours. And you can look at what the burning chests give as well. Burning chests, opening a burning chest will give you one of the following. You can either receive 10, 20 or 50 random immortal souls, receive 20 gold marks or 50 silver marks, or receive a bronze, silver or gold icon, and you spend them in the PvP shop. There's a couple of new things in here. In the other tab, this is the bronze icon exchange, silver icon exchange, and gold icon exchange, where you exchange the icons for various amounts of VP. But enough about that. Let's take a look at those lovely looking immortals and see what we think of them. So starting off with Immortal Aquaria. Deal magic based true damage. Looks like magic and just under a half true damage to an enemy, and half that damage to all enemies below. Boosted by blue dragon gems. If used in Bay of Stars, deal double damage. So that is actually quite a decent amount of damage, just on a basic level. So 81 damage in my case to the top troop, and then 40 to the troops below. But obviously you do have to cast that on a higher troop as possible to get the most damage. But if using Bay of Stars, that'd be 162 damage to the top enemy, and then 81 to the ones below. That is, and that's without the boost. Boosted by blue dragon gems. But it is invulnerable. Gain 1 magic for each blue ally would apply, and 50% chance to create a blue dragon gem when my turn begins means that damage could go up further. So it's okay, that one. Don't think it's absolutely mega outrageous. Obviously it's very powerful if used in Bay of Stars, but yeah, not too bad. Let's have a look at Immortal Caprichor next. See, this looks significantly less. This is the first time I've looked at all these, by the way, so this is kind of like a live reaction, but my initial glance at that, deal what, just above half true light splash damage to 4 enemies. If used in Mirage Expanse, deal double damage and explode 5 gems of a chosen colour. Oh, explode 5 gems of a chosen colour is quite interesting. So true light splash damage only deals a small amount of damage to the adjacent troops if it does apply to 4 enemies, but initially that doesn't sound as good as Aquaria, Immortal Aquaria. Anyway, let's see what the traits do, see if that improves things. Invulnerable, of course, but that can be countered with Curse, making them normal troops. And a 50% chance to convert a... Ah, this is better. 50% chance to convert a red gem to a red mana potion gem when my turn begins. If you get a red mana potion gem and then use someone else to explode that, there's plenty of red on the board. You are going to get that thing charged up pretty quickly, so get to do it again. And it does explode 5 gems of a chosen colour. So... yeah, it's got a chance to do that anyway. So yeah, potentially good. This is one of those things that sounds a bit naff at first, but because it creates that red mana potion gem, or it's got a chance to, and you can explode gems of a chosen colour, there's a good chance you'll be able to target that mana potion gem if it was there, and create a load of mana colours for it and get it charged up again. So yeah, but initially though, I still think I prefer the sound of Immortal Aquaria out of those two. Immortal Empyrion. Deal, again, sort of less than full magic. true splash damage to 3 random enemies boosted by burning gems. And again, this is a bit of a pattern here. If using Central Spire, deal double damage. So okay, yeah, 3 random enemies. If it hits the enemies at the top and bottom, it's going to do less damage. So that doesn't sound particularly great to me initially. Obviously, if it's in Central Spire, it will still do a lot. But these are all based on true damage so far, which is interesting. Create 2 burning gems when my turn begins, and invulnerable again, as well as reduce damage from skulls by 40%. But I'm just going to do one thing quick. I'm just going to see what damage my Queen Bee and my Tina 9000 do. 2 very powerful troops. So my Queen Bee. So I wanted like a reference point of how good these things are. Right, so my Queen Bee does 100 true scatter damage with those chances to get an extra turn and half her mana back. And obviously has that cleanse. That's a mana cost of 16. And let's take a look at my Tina 9000. So 100 for Queen Bee, that's easy to remember. My Tina does 48 and 96 true damage to 3 random enemies and gains the high amount of armor, 96 as well. And obviously has those pretty cool traits, especially reduce damage from spells by 50% and add 50% of armor to skull damage. So 100 Queen Bee and 48 and 96 for Tina. Just got to remember that. Let's get back to these suckers. Right, so just done Immortal Empyrion. So yes, he's don't know. Yeah, that one doesn't sound fantastic initially. Could be wrong. But again, it's through those burning gems and stuff. Wow. Anyway, Immortal Libara does true damage to all enemies. Again, that's like quite a low amount. What's that? 40, 80, 160, 164. So not that much more powerful. You know, compare that to my Tina. I was just saying a minute ago. That done high end of, what was it, 96? So that can, you know, my Tina, if it hit three enemies at the high end, it's going to be close to doing 300 true damage. That's going to be like way less than that. Way less than that. It does give life as well. And it is double damage, of course, if using Geron. I mean, if you're using Geron, it's going to do, what, 4 extra 16, 320 odd true. But that's only near my Tina. That's only above my Tina then. My Tina does close to 300 anyway. If at the high end, obviously Tina can actually cast at the lower end of that damage. And this does give life as well. And when that life is doubled... Oh no, it doesn't say about the double life. If using Geron, deal double damage and give the same amount of life to all allies, all other allies, boosted by angel gems. Yeah, so again, I don't think that one sounds particularly great. Create 2 angel gems when my turn begins. Invulnerable, of course. Yeah, I don't know if I'm missing something there, but that doesn't sound too fantastic. Immortal Lucifa. Explode 5 gems. That's going to pick up some mana straight away. Dispel all enemies. Dispel is pretty good. Remove positive effects such as barrier, enchanted and enraged. Then deal a range between 3 and magic and roughly a half. In that case, up to 72 true damage to them. If used in Summer Isle, deal a double damage. Right, so can hit all enemies. So at the high end, it's going to hit, what, 728, 288 true damage. Again, that's the sort of amount my Tina does, but on 3 enemies. But if using Summer Isle, deal double damage. But the thing with that is, if it deals it at the low end, because at the moment it can deal a really low amount. Like Tina's lower end was what, 48 at the minimum? Because obviously the difference between 3 and 48 is 45, and there's only a smaller gap between 48 and 72. There's a chance that this could deal actually significantly low damage. That would really be disappointing to cast out, wouldn't it? And see you get like something like 3, 6, 8 and 4 damage or something. But it can happen, and it will happen. And other times it would hit really high. on that damage. But you know, the spell is pretty good, but it is available in classes and certain traits as well if you need it. And it does explode, and it does do that double damage thing. But yeah, that's again not too amazing sounding. Invulnerable as standard. Holy armor, and create a barrier gem when my turn begins, which obviously can help when you pick that up by the explode 5 gems. But yeah, potentially, yeah, not so great, that one. I don't like that the range. That can't be right, surely. Surely they're going to change that. 3 to 70, that's like nothing to like an okay amount. Interesting. Immortal Ossifer. Convert all gems of a chosen colour to doom skulls. It's already a strong start. I like the sound of that. Then deal magic-based true damage to all enemies. If used in Ancient Ket, deal double damage. This is more like it. A guaranteed amount of true damage and to all enemies at the same time, as well as converting all gems of a chosen colour to doom skulls. That is really good, because you can get that initial true damage to all enemies. You're going to get those skull damage from the conversion of the chosen colour to doom skulls, and when it's a chosen colour, there's a very high chance you can get that in a 4 match, which gives you an extra turn at the same time. And that obviously doom skulls explode as well, which gives you back mana, which means you can charge up your troops again nice and fast. And if you use an Ancient Ket, deal double damage. So that'd be like 84 true damage to all, as well as that awesome conversion of gems of a chosen colour to doom skulls. Let's see if the traits help it out as well. First one, all undead gain 2 life, is not as good as some of the other ones, having 40% reduction from skulls, whatever it was, and things like that. But it's offset by the fact that its spell is a little bit better. And we have curse and stun a random enemy by matching 4 or more gems. So that is pretty good too, because that's going to happen. When you do that, convert all gems of a chosen colour to doom skulls. Yeah, I like this one. Yeah, this is a good one. Right, Immortal Sagittarian. Deal the same damage as this one up here, Immortal Lucifer. Between 3 and 72 true damage to an enemy, and 3 random enemies, so hitting 4 enemies. Boosted by bleeding enemies. If used in broken lands, deal double damage. Let's take a look at the traits. 20% chance to dodge skull damage. Invulnerable again. And curse and inflict bleed on a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So potentially good versus other immortal troops, because the curse will render their invulnerable basically like a normal troop. And inflict bleed as well, which is going to help out the spell. But yeah, it's going to hit 4 different enemies, but it's whether you get lucky in that damage range or not. And of course, it's got the double damage thing if used in its required kingdom, broken lands. But yeah, so there can be like 6 to 144. So it can do a lot of damage. These things are all about using them to get the full power of these things. It's all about using them in the correct land, in the correct kingdom. Immortal Terra. Deal, in this case, 33 the true heavy splash damage to 3 random enemies. If used in South Wild, deal double damage. Destroy row and column. So true heavy splash damage. Again, the trouble with splash damage is, especially when it's to random enemies, is if it hits the top and bottom troops, it's doing significantly less overall. Ideally, it would hit the second and third enemies down in a full team. And always best to get that double damage if used, in this case, South Wild. And we'll get some mana back at the same time. And create a stun gem when my turn begins. Reduce damage from skulls by 50% is pretty decent. But yeah, again, that one's alright. Immortal Titanius. 140 true scatter damage. See if we can compare this now to like the Queen Bee. If using Adania, deal double damage and destroy 3 random columns. Create 3 bomb gems when I die. Bit of a rubbish thing. You don't actually to benefit from stuff when you die, because the idea is you don't die. Immune to status effects, invulnerable again. Minefield, create 2 bomb gems when my turn begins. So the traits are kind of terrible on this one. And so 140 true scatter damage. This is based on my stats. My Queen Bee done and this is on level 30, remember. My Queen Bee, as it is now, does 100 true scatter damage. So that's only doing 40 scatter damage more than my Queen Bee. And my Queen Bee does have a chance to gain half her mana back and gain an extra turn, and has that awesome cleanse. So I'm not sure this one on this level, just used in any kingdom but Ardania, is actually particularly better than Queen Bee, because Queen Bee just can, as we know, creates all those colours as well, has different ways of getting an extra turn, and just if Queen Bee repeat casts once, that'd be 200 scatter damage compared to this one's 140. Obviously this one, if you use it in Ardania, that'd be 280, and that is guaranteed. You don't have to rely on an extra turn like Queen Bee and relying on looping to get that damage done. But yeah, again, powerful if used in its correct kingdom, but otherwise not that spectacular. Immortal Virago. Again, same amount of true scatter damage, this time boosted by Fairy Fire Gems. If used in Summer Isle, deal double damage. So 280 potential true scatter damage if used in Summer Isle, which is decent. Again, it's like, you know, nearly 3 times more than Queen Bee, but without the ability to self-charge or do it again. Create a Fairy Fire Gem when my turn begins. It's going to increase that damage. And invulnerable and gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. So that will push up that damage slowly but surely. And because it's like 3 times the magic, when it gains 1 magic when an ally casts a spell, it effectively puts that true damage up by 3. Almost 3 every single time. So yeah, that's not too bad. Don't know if I'm doing these as a disservice versus Queen Bee, because obviously Queen Bee can be frozen, can be stunned, which stops her getting the cleanse and stops her from repeat casting, but these, it's the guaranteed amount of damage straight away, especially if used in their correct kingdoms. It does a significant amount, almost like 3 times the amount of Queen Bee. So you don't have to rely on looping and things like that. So yeah, interesting, but at first glance, I really like the sound of this one. Immortal Ossifer. Sounds very, very nice indeed. Not so much that one. They're all going to be good in their own way though. I'm not sort of saying, oh, these are bad or anything like that, or underrated. I think they're all going to be decent in their own way. Not so keen on these ones right now though, with this low amount to an okay amount. I mean, compare this to my Tina 9000. Well, this explodes gems, dispels all enemies, and deals 3 to 72 true damage. My Tina done, what was it, 48 to 96 to 3 enemies. This does it to 4 enemies. And Tina also has that 50% spell block and gains 96 armor at the same time. Obviously, if this is used in Summer Isle, very good. But yeah, I think that them ones, to me, sound the weakest. This Immortal Lucifer. And there's another one that done a similar thing, wasn't there? Immortal Sagittarian. Yeah. But there's a few there that sound really good. And a few there that don't sound quite as good to me. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about these new Immortals. And like I say, the thing I like about these is how we can actually take a little look at these and have a look at the upgrade path and have a look what they get. Because this could change things, even though I'm just rating these and giving them a first opinion on their spell and traits. If we look at their stuff from here, we may find actually that they get significantly improved from their super traits, or whatever you want to call them, and things like that. But there it is, there's the video. There's a first quick look at these new Immortals. Let me know what you think in the comments and what you think is your favourite one so far. But there's a video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful or helpful, be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. Most of all, thanks for watching. Catch you again next time. Bye for now.